Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to KliqThisTV.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Hey Kev, do you ever catch any women checking out the? I should say this differently. Do you ever check any women doing the catching print while you're strolling across the convention floor? It's a term I learned this week, and I wanted to know if you've ever heard of it.
It's a TikTok term.
It is a TikTok term, apparently.
I wouldn't even pay attention.
I guess Scott would have called it meat. Well, not really, because meat gazing meant the actual meat. This is
It's actually meat gazing though.
Well, it's concealed meat.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still
so women try to estimate the size by looking at the silhouette or the crease in the pants. Women really evening things up, Kev, in society here. This is just the equivalent,
what were
I think,
we
of the
looking
game
at?
you play. What's that?
What were we looking at that was?
Well, there was the game. We talked about the game, the trade-up game.
But that was on attractiveness.
Yes.
That wasn't any particular.
Well, because we didn't need a game to say, look at the cans on her. That would just happen.
But cans, what do you do with cans?
You want me to draw you a diagram? What do you mean? Like what can you do
with breasts? What are breasts? They're I don't know. I've always said tits are for kids.
It's so funny. I knew somebody in college who used to say that. That's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
No,
an ass is what you want. You can buy tits.
But they're all to be incorporated.
Yeah, I mean,
in the session.
But what do you really? It's like if somebody's if a woman's on top of a man and she's riding them, like I'm probably going to go to the hips, like put my hands on her hips.
Sure.
Before
Absolutely.
I'm going to put my hands on her cans.
Well, they're all not mutually exclusive. Also, you can do both. You can go down and the up, and it's also stimulating for her.
I think that I guess visually it's attractive. Yeah. But I think because everyone has augmentation now that it's like, I don't know.
It becomes less special because everybody purchases it and gets it on the same level.
Like whatever they're calling it, printing, whatever. What is it called? What's it called?
Well, catching print.
Catching print would be the equivalent of camel towing.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd have to it would have to, Do you know
what the term? It's a curious term to me. Why would they? Of all the things you could have called that, like meat gazing is great. I know what you're talking about, Scott.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's like everything. It's like those, everybody knows what LOL is, but then sometimes there'll be one that's like, I'll be like, I have no idea what that is, and I'll have to look it up, and I'll be like, really?
Yeah.
Like it means a paragraph. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It came across me in the last couple of days, and I had to drop it.
Yeah. I really, if somebody's looking at my package, God bless them.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I've been on this planet for 60, almost 7 years. I haven't had anybody give me the thumbs down yet.
Yeah.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix did once, but I was in Gladiator, and that scene got cut. So.
So I wonder. Yeah, I just wondered how maybe Krist Noem's husband would have handled that. Like, does he talk? Is it or was it just the photos I saw of him from Daily Mail? We have to, of course, give credit to who broke the story. Were just on the top, the aforementioned breasts, or what Byron Noem, I think, had the fetish for, with the big balloons. Did you see the photos?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No.
So
I still haven't got.
Story,
I still haven't got over the $200 million she spent riding a horse. So. Hey, hold on now. I mean, since we're talking about people in the cabinet that are no longer with us, who had the over/under on Pam Bondi fucking getting the bootski today?
I think based on news reports in the last couple of days, I would have put some money on it, and it did.
It was
happen
weird
today.
though, because it came out around noon yesterday, and we're filming this on Thursday, so it came out. Or taping this Thursday. So it came out Wednesday before that unbelievable State of the Union that the president gave. We'll talk about that later. But it came out around noon that he might bring up the fact that she was going to get the boot. But then he had a press conference after he went to the Supreme Court, and he was like, "Hey, right, Pam? Right, Pam?" He was like making reference to her like they were best friends. And then she got the shit stick today.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You were talking about the press conference, right?
The press conference after they went to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, yeah.
On the 14th Amendment. And I have to, Trump's argument is that I watched the thing on 60 Minutes, and it basically it was in San Jose. It was a few years back, and it was these neighborhoods that had these large homes, 4, 5, 6 bedroom homes, and they were all occupied by pregnant Chinese women that were having the children in California,
in the U.S., yeah,
to make these kids be U.S. citizens. And Trump said, I don't think, and I'll see how close I can get to this. He says, I don't think the 14th Amendment was written to make sure that billionaires could have 57 children in America and have them be citizens. I don't think that was, and I agree 100%. So that has to be curtailed. So when somebody's born in this country, if neither parent is of American citizenship, that child cannot be a citizen. Doesn't matter. I mean, we're born on our soil doesn't cut it.
It's funny.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
But it's an interesting. If you look at Trump's wives. Right, there's an interesting metric you can do there.
Well, Marla Maples was American.
Right, so what was Tiffany?
One out of 3, yeah.
Right.
Tiffany's. So Tiffany's. That's all. That's pure blood all the way through.
Yeah. But Barron, Eric, and Don Jr. are going to have to start packing.
And Ivana.
And Ivana, right? Of course, and
Ivana.
Yeah. She's kind of tucked herself away, huh?
She's smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think was the final straw with the Bondi thing? Was it the Epstein stuff that's still dragging on, or a lot of the reports I read talked about his displeasure?
Man, that fucking hearing she had where she just showed her ass, and just she was as my late mom used to say, she was just so fucking flippant, and she just they passed an act in Congress, the Epstein Act, and it's like she missed the deadline on that. She missed so many the redactions. Basically, she has so much heat on her with this Epstein thing that it's almost like she's one of the smoking guns. So you definitely don't want the smoking gun still in your cabinet. So now the question is, will she still be brought up? Because it was a bipartisan hearing that they were going to have on her, and I saw the Democratic lead on that say that he definitely was going to. He had more questions now with her being removed, and the I want to think her name is Mays, is the Republican that put that together, but she also, as of a few days ago, was still red hot on this. But I'm curious now that she's private sector, if it's going to matter to the Republican Party.
Yeah, maybe not, because they'll all distance. They'll say, well, she was.
Well, and right now also, and we're in this, this 2-week, now 4-week, now endless war. Though I did kind of like the strategy of the hocus pocus opening of the Straits. They're just gonna open. That's just something that's gonna happen. So we don't need any conflict or anything. We just eventually the Straits will open.
Well, I saw the leadership in Iran released today that they're just not going to open.
One of these two are lying.
Yeah,
this is bullshit.
I
can't live like this.
They disagree during a war, So
I think that I think that if you're going to have I guess it was a State of the Union or speak to the country or whatever the fuck it was.
Press conference.
And I think that if you start the paragraph with, we're using Pakistan and some backdoor entities to have some diplomacy with the new regime / fuck you, we'll bomb you back to the Stone Age in the same paragraph. Just, I don't know how exactly that plays out.
There's a lot of conflicting commentary.
Yeah.
I apologize if I'm sniffling during
No,
this,
it's your,
people.
you've got a health issue. You probably, I have one. I'm dying. I can't stop pissing. So.
I'm getting my ass kicked.
No.
By this season.
The season has been,
doing the best I can here, guys.
And down here we've had probably 4 of these already, where it's 40 degrees, 80 for 3 days, shit blooms.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Then it goes back, nothing. Then, and I don't know who in Florida decided that they were going to bring the amount of pine trees that they have them in the beach. There's a gigantic pine tree behind my house. I'm talking a fucking 75 feet tall pine tree behind, like in the lot behind my house.
There's one in my place down there. All the fucking pine needles land on the lanai, on the screen lanai. It's such a pain in the ass. There's like they've slowly built around the area, so a lot of the vegetation has been cut down for the other yards. But there's this one, and it's the long ass pine needles that.
Yeah, this thing here doesn't. I don't think it's shed. It doesn't shed in our backyard.
Is it? Maybe it's not a pine. They're very long. The long, very thin.
I mean, it's some kind of a spruce, or it looks like put it this way, it looks like a giant Christmas tree.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know.
it's a spruce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an arborist, but
No,
yeah, fucking annoying. I'll
I'm
give you
not
that. Fucking annoying.
I tell you what, man, we just had the landscaper out, and we're looking at 10, 12K to fucking give us back some privacy. All the shit that fucking got. I mean, we've never had everything. Everything fucking died. Bougainvilleas. I mean, everything fucking died. So now it's just like, and this will be a once in fucking a 20-year deal, and now everything in our front yard will basically look like something that grows in Arizona. You know, some kind of palm or some shit. So, but we have people that walk to the beach, and if you don't have some side protection there, they look right into your fucking yard. So
We're this is of course Monday if you're listening on the drop day. So we're gonna have our national champion awarded tonight, Monday night at I guess 9.
I'm so fucking pissed because in my mind, like I had the Final Four, and just because fucking Duke just shit the bed. But I knew that Duke was in trouble when they were up by 23 and Connecticut cut it to 15 at half. And I was like, man, that didn't feel good. And then
Yeah, but man, that halftime, anyone can show up on that court in the second half. I don't know that it was over then, but essentially that clip of Bob Hurley like a statue in the audience.
how about when he like kissed the fucking referee's head or whatever the fuck he
Danny you're talking about when he but they had the camera on his father. So all right, so we're looking at
that's your guys.
this is ours, having Illinois with a bit of an upset here.
I have
You have Michigan.
Michigan. No, I have
No, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, you have Arizona. As does John, right?
And I'm telling you right now, man, I think that Michigan's going to be national champion.
Could very well happen.
Michigan still looks like they're running their offense at practice. It just.
All right, so we'll see tonight. Those of you that'll elect to watch that instead of Raw, as we get closer to Mania. What do we? How many? All right. So if this is Monday, we got what? We got 2 Manias left. 2 Raws before Mania.
Yeah, 2
right?
Raws left. This last Raw, we got Gunther. Looks like he's got himself. Looks like he's got himself a grappling match with the Mr. Rollins.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? They don't have to force. They're trying to force some kind of angle. Just put those 2 in the ring. It'll be
That's it.
an amazing match. Just a wrestling match.
And I think there's the intrigue
drama
of bringing Seth back from an injury and Gunther being the career ender. Like, what's the finish?
Yeah, what do you do here, Kevin? What do you do?
Do you bring a guy back and beat him?
No. No, but you can't be Gunther either.
But is Braun Breaker healthy enough to come down and spear
That would
Seth?
be amazing.
And then they go off and have Seth is definitely the face against Gunther. So you're going face with Seth now.
You know what though? If you do that, then you could get a pin. You could get a pinfall from Gunther, or he'd probably want to do the submission, right? And you can't.
Yeah, but you can't beat a babyface that turns out of the chute.
Yeah. Yeah, but even if it's because of the interference?
Or you could just have the ambiguous fucking the triple match ambiguous. Who's the heel? Who's the baby face?
A three-way?
No, I mean just the matches. Like fucking Cody is
Oh, because of the other two matches, you mean?
yeah. I mean Cody, and depending on where you're at, I mean Orton is over as fuck. That's what. See, this is what happens. And Paul even years ago told me that the days of having the man are over. Like you're going to have 8 guys that can take that position. And that's where they're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 6 guys in those 3 matches that any of them can be that person. I did not think that I would see CM Punk powerbomb the fucking tribal chief through the table.
Yeah, that was I think if you edit together every time they've...
I think it's pretty even.
Yeah, maybe. Right, because you went...
The week before fucking Roman went crazy.
Yeah.
And he felt heelish, and then this time it felt the opposite.
But I think, though, I think if you told me on paper this was going to happen this week, I would have said, oh, you're giving away too much. But you know what? After all of the spoken promos with, like, the one shot at the end, I think they needed this. I think this did something good for the match. Whereas normally I'd say, no, don't have some big...
I think because I think it definitely you make Punk way more because the whole thing is, Punk has let himself go gray. He's done the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So once you start to let yourself go gray, there's no going back from that. I mean, Phil could dye his shit at WrestleMania, and I know he's working. I know he's working out with Jey. He's working his ass off in the gym, so I know he's going to look. He's going to look the part. He's going to look much. I guarantee you, Phil looks good at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
The best we've probably seen him since he's came back. So he's going to be in WrestleMania shape. Roman will. Because Roman has fucking stayed covered up.
Mm-hmm.
He had that big-ass Jordan jacket on last week.
Right.
So he's stayed covered up. So they're chiseling down, doing it right. No, they've everybody gives fucking so much shit to the process, and the process is doing exactly what it needs to do. There's a ton of really fucking interesting matches on these 2 nights.
How do you book this one?
Which one?
Punk one.
I have to have Punk go over because Roman has stated too many times that he's a part-time wrestler and a full-time father and husband. So and though they don't run 300 days a year, they still, man, when they run, they fucking run, and it's on planes, and you're in Berlin one night and Copenhagen the next and Italy the next, and you gotta have that fucking strap out there.
Do you have a resolution? Is there an in-ring handshake afterwards?
No,
Does this squash this?
No, because Roman said, I hate you.
But could he finish with I may hate you, but I respect you kind of thing? And no,
I wouldn't. I just have a feeling that they're going to do the. Well, the fact that Punk hit him with his finish clean and put him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's,
The funny thing is about this Mania, there's these few matches that we've been talking about the last couple of months. I'm interested to see the finish on these, how they handle it. Even Brock.
I'm more interested to see the mechanics of them getting to the finish. The finish is the finish. I'm just hoping that I don't watch 4 matches of I'm going to give you your finish 13 times. You're going to give me, you're going to give me my finish, 11 times, and then one of those, eventually I'll turn around and actually give you my finish, which you'll kick out of, which will be the fucking go home sign that the next person that hits their actual own finish will be the fucking one that wins.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that. But then again, like I said, and I preference this, that I'm 66 and I'm not their demographic.
True that. Hey, you know what you are excited about? As excited about Mania as you are. We're going to the moon. Well, we're not going to the moon. They're up, and they're going to do a drive-by and head back down. I guess it's all told like a 10-day.
I think it's 8
journey. 8-day. Okay. Oh, the 10th. Right. 8 day to the 10th, and then they'll be back. So, you paying attention to the footage real closely? Is this real?
So I watched it with Tam.
I know you were looking for. I know you were looking for Kubrick.
So I'm watching it with Tamara, and we're downstairs, and there's a stop. They stop at like, I don't know, 8 minutes or whatever it was. There was a stoppage, and then I went up and did something, started clothes or something. I came down, and when I came down, they were pulling the thing that the astronauts walk across. They were pulling that apparatus away from the capsule, and the count was still on. So I said to Tam, I said, let's go ahead and go upstairs. And we went upstairs, and I mean, that's kind of one of the cool things about like having a place there. Mm-hmm. You would not believe. So I'm driving home from the gym, and it is 5:30, and it is bumper to bumper everywhere I go.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm thinking there's a wreck on Ridgewood, there's this, there's that. Finally, I realize I see people on foot walking. And I'm like, oh, fuck. These people are there to watch this rocket take off. I drive over the bridge, and it's pretty, not bumper to bumper, but it's, I mean, I had to zip through it because now it's just like, you motherfuckers are going to make me miss this. And the entire cusp of the Dunlawton Bridge is packed. I'd say 300 people on each side to watch the viewing of this spacecraft. And so I get down, and then I look, when I get on the roof, I look down the beach, and the beach is absolutely packed with people.
Yeah. Like
the old guys with the fucking giant lenses, and,
I saw an estimate. There were 250,000 people lined up on the along the coast.
That was in Titusville. Like, just down there was unbelievable, the amount of people that were around the Space Coast area itself. And, it's one of those things where after Challenger, when it takes off and it's, because it took a second to, like when it took off, it was just like, we just didn't, then all of a sudden, man, it was just like, the amount of, I don't know, it's not called exhaust because it's the fire. The amount of the actual flame that came out of the ass of this fucking rocket was like nothing we've seen since the shuttle. When the shuttle used to take off, that was pretty spectacular. But this thing took off, and I was just like, wow. And but so we watch that, and then we watch until it goes out of our personal vision. So now we go downstairs and lo and behold, as I walk into the TV room, on the TV screen is a drawing, but it's like a computer generated of the actual length of the vehicle, and it shows it separate with a capsule. And I said, "Here we go. Here we go. We're going to fucking computer generated fucking 7 minutes after the motherfucker's out of view."
So, so you're down with this being the actual. I saw your comical. Was it a tweet or an Instagram? It was an Instagram.
It's an Instagram.
Post, right? Yeah.
Number one, it just appalled. I'm appalled that you put a picture of an Atlas rocket, which was the
What year?
60 maybe.
Okay.
I think the Atlas went in 60. The first one that went up was it was the Mercury. That I think it was the Mercury was the first one, and then it was the Atlas. The Atlas was the one that they the Atlas. I think that the Atlas went like 100 and the first Atlas rocket went 171 miles into space. Like that was
Okay.
So.
Well, so you put the picture of the Atlas.
Yeah, and I just said I said, rest in peace, Stanley Kubrick, because I do think they're going to have some problems. But I know that Ron Howard is already filed for the footage of anything that happens with the Artemis. So.
Yeah, and I mean, they can just computer generate anything else as you.
I can't believe some of my friends that are just staunch. Like, you tell them that we didn't go to the moon, and they look at you like, how could you say that?
Because they're not working on logic. They're working on something that they've accepted over time because you don't question certain things, right?
But I can't
learned
believe
it as a kid.
Like,
and
to me,
don't...
like they must have had like the shock when they found out that Santa wasn't real. Must have just been absolutely just. And I'm sure somewhere inside they're like, I'm not so sure about that.
The whole space thing, I was very proud of my 13-year-old Lana. She wrote a paper and she asked me to read it. And it was, I guess she had to write an opinion paper. And the long and short of it was just with some substantiating data about what it costs for this. She said, why are we doing this when we have so many issues? And it's a fine question. And if you're in 7th grade and you can think that way, can't us older folk ask the same question? What are we fucking around in space still for? What are we looking for?
Well, what it is we know there's a degree of people that are atheists that believe that there's nothing after this life on Earth, and they know that they watch any of the newses because it's very hard for them to not be pelted with every 3 days there's a 1,000-year flood in some part of the world, and we've all, anybody that was down here in Florida for this winter, it's just like, holy shit, like we had a winter. And I mean, I know that people, climate change isn't real, but the fuck it's not. And I think that they really need, because what they're selling is colonization of the moon and having that be basically the base to then take off and go to Mars. Like, that's the whole.
But this is the priority. So you look at the landscape here.
It's a colonization, though. Think about the amount right now of billionaires that are building doomsday bunkers. I mean, Zuckerberg basically has a fucking $23 million bunker that he built. So you got
So this is an extension of that, you think?
Yes, absolutely. We know that we're probably 20 to 40 years top from an extinction situation on this planet. So if you're how old is your daughter now? 11, 13?
13.
So she's 13. So that means if she does the math, she's 53. So if it's just like, hey, we need to get our shit together, because I really don't want to call it a run at 53.
Right. Well, so let's get our shit together, and I don't think we need total annihilation. I think we have more control.
We also, if we don't get our shit together, maybe
SpaceX.
It's
get on the bus.
It's part of the fantasy they sell, right?
It is. You know what's a fantasy for me, Kev? You said a few minutes ago you saw when you were watching the launch, the ass of the rocket and everything that poured out of the ass of the rocket, and I immediately thought, damn, it probably needs a giant tushy bidet if everything is pouring out of the ass of that rocket. Because when everything pours out of my ass, I'm happy to be sitting on a tushy bidet. Okay, it's the daily reset, instantly transforms your bathroom habits and your bottom health for life. 99% of people who wash with Tushy warm water bidets feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. The e-bidets instantly modernize the daily routine. Okay, heated seat, adjustable water temperature, and a powerful yet gentle dryer. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to the existing toilet seat. I didn't need but more than maybe 10 minutes even to screw that bad boy on there. And there's no additional plumbing. Okay, you're going to be all set. E-bidets only require the outlet. It's daily decadence, practical benefits. Over half the people who wash with Tushy soothe their hemorrhoids, and 9 out of 10 people reduce itching and discomfort. Have I been graphic enough today? Everybody, please enjoy a spotless, clean where it matters most. If you're using toilet paper, you're just smearing stuff around, guys. Limited time, our listeners are getting 10% off their first bidet order when they use the code KLIQ. So I command you to go to hellotushy.com TushyBoys.com/Kliq, Kliq. That's your promo code, Kliq, Kliq. Hello, Tushy, Tushy. Thank you, Tushy. I thank you at least once a day, quietly.
I've got Tushy's new logo. Tushy for those in between the black washcloth moments.
Wipe your Apollo, blast your Apollo.
What the fuck is with hotels not having black washcloths?
No, they're all white, dude.
Man.
You know why? I think I do know the answer to this. If you are curious, colored towels will fade with wash, so you have to buy them far more frequently than just bleaching white towels again and again.
Yeah, but washcloths, man, like I've said this before on the show. There's nothing like washing your ass in a hotel with a white washcloth.
Oh yeah, and leave that for the chambermaid to come into there.
Then you basically gotta fucking hand wash the fucking
hand wash
like
the washcloth.
Yeah, so you don't want
under the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get all the shit out of the. It's like, what the fuck? I don't want somebody that doesn't work for me.
I hear you.
No.
Throw them in the garbage.
No, I don't want it. I have a whole system, I just stayed
I bet you do. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I do. No, I'm just saying that there's always like in the olden days, like all the hotels, the showers, they turned them all into to walk-ins. Because nobody takes baths. So in the corner of all these walk-ins is like this grated stainless steel thing that I guess that when it was originally put in there, it was for soap. You would put the soap in there, and the soap would. So now when they've got the fucking everything is the triple pump. When you've got the shampoo pump, the body gel pump, and the conditioner pump. Now that thing just sits over there with no. You can't even find a bar of soap. If you're lucky, there might be at a Hyatt. At a grand.
Well, I know that little soap shelf. Now you're going to throw your fucking
that's the
mocha-colored rag onto
there. Well, it's not mocha-colored because you clean it, but that's where the shit. That's where the fucking the shit washcloth goes.
Yeah, nice eye level for when they come in to clean the room. They're not going to miss that. It's right there.
Yeah, but you know that when the next day that you grab your new one and you add that one to it. So
get some short and curlies in there. Looks like the Riddler used your goddamn rag.
I have it's like everything at home. I've got this. I just found this new bacterial-free Japanese washing cloth, and it's probably it's got to be 4.5 feet long. And when your shoulders get bad, you can't, but you can take this thing and you can scrub your back with it, like behind, the old gimmick, and because you don't want to use any kind of a brush or anything because bacteria grows on that. So these you buy 3 of these. I'll have to find out what the brand is because it starts with an S. It's a Japanese brand, and you can wash them in your washer. So you go 3 days, and you wash it with your, and it's just, it's a beautiful thing, babe. Especially now with summer coming. Because the last thing you want to do is not get those pores clean on your back. But yeah, I have a whole system at home. You go on the road, and it's just like your back doesn't really get washed. So you got to scald yourself to hope like maybe you can sanitize it. You use the towel and try to use that with the gel. The gel doesn't really suds. It's like it's a fucking shit show.
Well, you work out, so you need full. The average person, if they're going away for a day and they're in a hotel, if between their shoulder blades doesn't get washed and just the shampoo runs down, that's enough for most of us. But you're in the gym, and so you're working up an unholy sweat. So yeah,
But I really mean, as you get older, you just don't sweat like you used to. It's just, to me, it's the amount of sitting, the sitting in the airport, the sitting in the plane. It's just like, and then if you do signings, you're sitting. It's just, there's so much sitting.
Yeah.
With your back against something.
Understood.
Yeah.
Alive in the Vibe was listening and watching last week, Kevin. They said, love hanging with you both every week. I'll listen to as many ads as y'all want me to. You're worth it. Thank you, Alive.
Thank you, sir.
Kenneth J, 73. Hey, guys, enjoy the show. I'm late on this, but it was Chris Webber's birthday a couple of weeks ago. Wonder if Kevin has ever met him or has any memories of watching the Fab Five, Detroit legend.
I remember, yeah. He was, where'd he go? He went to County Day.
I didn't
High
even know he
School.
was a Detroit guy. He played, of course, for
Michigan.
Michigan. No, yeah, I know. NBA, though.
Sacramento.
Sacramento. That's where I remember.
Where else? He got drafted, I think he got drafted by the Warriors and got moved to Sacramento. I know he was the first.
Yeah, I think I see him in a yellow jersey in my head when you say Chris Webber. So that would be.
But I see him he was on that
Golden
really
State.
good Sacramento team.
Okay.
With white chocolate, with that whole Stojakovic, Divac.
Did you ever meet him?
No, never met him. What you call it? Also in the Fab Five was Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose was he was a Detroit. He was a public school league kid. He fucking lit it up. I want to think he went to Southwestern, Detroit Southwestern. He was a motherfucker in high school.
Okay. Yeah, that was a hell of a squad. Now that you mention
Unbelievable.
it, bringing up all these names, and that's, and I would have forgotten
the big
Stojakovic,
kid,
by the way.
the other guy. I got to think what his name is now. Was it Howard? What was his name? He was the first guy to sign a $100 million deal in the NBA. He signed it with the Wizards. Juwan Howard, yeah.
Javon Howard.
Juwan Howard. 6'10", 6'11" guy, yeah.
Roy St. Gertrude. Kev is absolutely correct about the difference between a 2-hour Nitro compared to a 3-hour Nitro. The 2-hour format from 95 through 97 was the best pro wrestling television history, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it's, to me, when I go through at night with my wife and we look, and it's like anything over, like once you see 120 plus, it's like, and you don't know if it's, like we started watching something the other night, and it was on I think it was on Netflix, and you couldn't tell from the snippet that it was dubbed, and then it's almost like there's an art to shooting a dubbed movie, because there's a lot of,
you obscure the mouths.
and not only that though, there's a lot of times when like there's dialogue, and it's POV dialogue, but the person that's delivering the dialogue, it's
Is
the
off
back
camera.
of their head.
It's the over the shoulder of the reaction.
Yeah, and the other person's I'm watching it. As I'm watching this movie, we're like 10 minutes into it, and now I haven't paid attention to the dialogue. I'm just watching it for the actual filmmaking and how they're fucking like schmoozing and schmozzing this to try to. And then there's one scene where there's like 3 people in it, and they're all at a table, and the woman's looking down, and she looks up and she talks to the other 2 counterparts, and it's so off. It's just like everything is so off. Like that whole scene, and I just went, I can't do it.
It's tough. I've had to do that sometimes for a foreign thing, and it's you get as close as you can because
I think I would have been better off had I put the subtitles on.
Had you what?
Put the subtitles on the TV.
Oh, then you're reading. You're not even watching.
No,
the film,
but you do it the opposite way. You find out where you look it up on IMDb, see where it was fucking produced and done. Then you put the subtitles and say it's Israel. So then the subtitles come up, and then you realize that it makes the whole dub thing like so much more pleasurable because you're not reading. You know you're watching a fucking dub film.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I almost think that if you don't do that, they think they're getting over on you.
They're getting.
This dumb motherfucker doesn't even realize how badly this is dubbed. Like fuck you. There was a show on, I think it was on Netflix. It was called Folda, and it was Mossad. It was Israeli. It was really well done, but they spoke Farsi. They spoke English. They spoke all kind of different languages, Israeli, and I just liked it because when it was dubbed, it was just very, very well done. And it was on for I think 4 or 5 seasons, and I was talking to my buddy Adam Rodriguez. And the star of the show, Adam runs into him at someplace in Venice, Santa Monica, somewhere down that area, like an eatery, maybe it's on Abbott County, but and Adam, just because he's just a fucking the most chill dude on earth, was just going to give him some props. Because Adam was watching the show and I was watching it at the same time. Adam and I would talk about it. We'd talk about whatever we're watching. And he said, I went over and told the dude, like, hey, really, enjoy your show. He said, dude looked at me like I had fucking 3 heads. I'm thinking, fuck, dude. Like, nobody even knows who this dude is. And if you don't know Adam Rodriguez from fucking CSI Miami, you're a douche. So it's like you don't fucking give somebody like props and it's like Pacino comes over and says, hey, I dug you in the longest yard, and you are? Fuck off.
You're the guy that was in that Adam Sandler movie where you did that Dunkin' Donuts song.
Yeah.
He needed the money. Peter D., I may be overly optimistic, but I'm hoping the WWE will honor Hulk in some way at WrestleMania. A video montage.
I think that at the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. So
yeah.
Now he's 3. That's 3 for him.
3 for him and 3 for Brett.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yes, Peter. I don't know if you were seeing the future when you sent this question, but yes, there will be a tribute to Hulk in the form of the Immortal Moment Award. The 1BG. Surprised you guys didn't talk much on the 25th anniversary of the end of WCW. To Kev, when did you see signs things were going south? Were you ever concerned for your own future? If it lasted past 2001, would you have stayed and re-upped? To Sean, did you ever watch WCW? What did you think of Nash as a wrestler? Huh. I'll give you my review. You go first, though.
No, there was talk that, so Eric put together a deal with Fuchsia Media, and we were going to move WCW, we were going to move it to Vegas. They were going to put the WCW logo on top of the sphere, and we were going to have basically we do a show from there, like Britney Spears and everybody else does. We'd be part of the fucking Vegas deal. But the deal was that we had to have and the deal was good. Like, they were going to pay, but they had to get the 2-hour TNT slot. And they said no. So with no place to do to broadcast the show, it was the deal didn't go through. I would have stayed there.
Right.
Because we wouldn't have been doing road.
Hard Rock, right? Looks like that Bischoff planned to base the company in Vegas, record Nitro weekly at the Hard Rock. The specific site would have been a roughly 3,000-seat arena. I don't know that would have done anything to keep it going.
Yeah, but it would have stopped touring.
Yeah, but seeing that full arena, 3,000 seats versus, you guys walking out and, full-size arena in San Antonio and then being somewhere. There's an excitement to you guys being out.
To me, it was amazing. So San Antonio was packed the other night, and it looked great on TV. But fucking the Garden films so good for wrestling.
Oh, yeah, that was Monday night, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Garden, it seemed like there was 40,000 people in there. I mean, It was unbelievable. So...
Of course I watched WCW. I kind of fall out of love with wrestling. And it got goofy and the cartoony type characters. When I was a kid, that was fine. The over the top Hogan stuff. They were superheroes.
Weren't you a huge Duke the Dumpster Droese guy?
Second only to Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. But any gimmick that Steve Lombardi did, I was all about. As long as he didn't do my gimmick. However, I did watch, ECW kind of brought me back into the fold because it was believable again. Nobody was playing a hockey player and a pig farmer. It was just fucking Sandman came out and he was like some roofer who would kick my ass and hit me with a staple gun. So there was the believability that I could give back into that. It was dark. They were talking like Tarantino characters. They were smart. They were booking for us who were reading the sheets. Doing shit like when Todd had they were doing the loser leave town match and everybody knew that so-and-so was going to New York. I forget who the hell it was Scorpio, I think, was going to New York. So you knew he was going to job, right? So they sent the first guy to the ring. Scorpio pins him. They said, all right, we're going to send someone else. They went through 3 or 4 people and had to send 4 people away, but it was worth it to pop the fan. So I loved that about it. So naturally, when the ratings war starts heating up between WWE, WCW. Now I can watch wrestling from the business aspect. I can know what the ratings are about. I can know how they're booking. I can sit with my friends in college and talk about, okay, that first hour is not going to matter because Raw is not on yet. Now let's see what happens at 9. And then, of course, the NWO changed the game. So, yeah, of course I watched, and WCW was a huge part of why I think people watched at that time. Did I think Nash was a great wrestler? I didn't care if Nash was a great wrestler because he was 7 feet tall. He came in the ring. He made us laugh with Scott, and he filled his role there. And listen, when you watch a real life giant and you're not one, there's that instant credibility. And you're at the arena and someone walks by you and you're like this. And that's why it was always very hard for me to get on the band. Not that smaller guys couldn't be entertaining, but I grew up in an era where Bondi and Tony Atlas and Hogan, when they walk by you when you're 10 years old, it was a holy shit moment. And when Nash would walk by, I don't think I ever saw you live, but if you walk by me at the barricade at 7 feet tall, there's the instant, yeah, I'm fucking believing this. So if you're talking about the five moves didn't matter to me.
No, that's my whole thing. It's like, I don't think, I never, I knew my limitations. So, but I've always said, like, a lot of people have just now discovered the me versus Taker match from WrestleMania 12. And they're like, wow, that was actually a decent match. And they're, what was that actor's name that said I hadn't had a good match since?
Yeah, the actor wrestler. That was on Van Vliet's show. Was that the one?
What was that guy?
Yeah.
I forget what his name is.
Hauser, Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. Yeah, I actually saw a movie that he was in with, and I really thought it was good. It was I watched it on a plane. It was Halsey was in it. That Sydney. No, the broad that got all that shit over the jeans. Help me out. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, and then he was in it, and yeah, Americana. And I watched that, and I thought that was good. And that was the first time, because I saw him in that where he played the bomber in Atlanta at the Olympics, Richard Jewell. I saw him in that, and it was kind of. And then I saw him in the Springsteen film that just came out, and I just kind of went like, he just kind of plays an overweight guy that just kind of is there. And like the serial killer thing, I didn't think. But in this film, he fucking showed chops, and he showed really, really good comedic timing. I thought he stole it. So I was thinking to myself, like, all right. So I haven't had a good match since whenever the fuck it is. And what's his name? Paul, you're 1 for 4 for me as far as having any skill as an actor.
But he flexed those 5 moves in Americana.
He did. No, he was. It was almost like in I think it's Pineapple Express where McBride fucking like goes down at the table after like all the times he's been shot and shit, and he fucking looks up and he goes, "Oh man, was I the fucking first guy to fall asleep at the sleepover?" And it was kind of he kind of had that kind of sense of humor to him, and I always kind of dig that. So right. Kudos to him. And definitely, if you get a chance to watch Americana, watch that movie because it's a good watch.
All right. And dovetailing into the WCW questions that we just answered, Dom has a question.
According to Google, according to Gemini, which will be super reliable, these are the names of people who had outstanding contracts that when WWF purchased WCW, but then not its contracts.
So that would be 2001.
Yes.
Right?
Rather than taking the buyout, were the guys that we had outstanding contracts.
Mm-hmm. because like Booker T very famously took the buyout, or well,
Right.
yeah,
So Dallas.
Booker T in Dallas, and then these are the names that I think can get confirmed, and they're citing a Reddit thread, so who even knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But the very famously is DDP and Booker T. Jeff Jarrett was fired on television. And then WWF signed or otherwise picked up Lance Storm, Mike Awesome, Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Stacy Keibler.
Kev, from
that was
Dallas,
the invasion.
From Dallas's and Booker's perspective, was it just financially beneficial for them to do that?
No, it was horrible to do that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, they just wanted to continue wrestling and be on TV, right? Then
I think Dallas's dream was always to be in the WWE.
Oh, okay.
And it might have been books too.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been a worry as well that if they sat out their contract, they wouldn't have that earning potential.
They wouldn't have the spot of being the top guys coming in.
True.
But when it came down to it, it was like you're the first one to go to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Booker they didn't fuck with.
Dallas they did though.
Yeah. Dallas they fucked with pretty bad.
And then
Well, fucking Dallas did a job for Taker's wife within a fucking month.
Right?
He was done.
So that if you're any of these people, that's what's happening over there.
That was fucking weird. I thought he was being set up for. I mean, he came in, they put him with Taker right away.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He was stalking.
Oh, fuck, that's going to work out. And then,
yeah,
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Well, specifically, why is he jobbing his Taker's wife?
Well, plus Dallas had a bad back when he went. His back was fucked up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I don't know. To me, I was 41 years old. I think 40. No, I was 40 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 40 years old, and fucking like you're getting the best 16 months of your career to watch fucking TV from home. That's
right?
kind of a fucking no-brainer.
You can't take some buyout on that.
You know, it's like, hey, you can come back and just run back punts. Fuck you, man.
And when did you book Punisher?
I
feel like that would have been I feel like that movie was 03, so you probably would have booked it in 02.
That was 04.
No, am I a year off?
You have to realize I do a hair versus hair match versus Jericho in Seattle to fucking get my hair cut to go do the Punisher. I'm in WWE already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like a couple years.
Yeah, Punisher came out. Then my hair got cut, and once my hair got cut, I got I did DOA, I did Longest Yard.
Right.
I did like 4 movies because they're like, oh fuck, he cut his hair. Now we can use them because you can't. I can't play the Russian with fucking hair down my shoulders.
Right.
When so 2002, that's when you call Sean down. You reunite with Sean. That was before the movies. Then, before those movies.
Yeah.
2002. Okay.
I think I did. I think Punisher was 04.
Okay. Right.
Longest Yard was like towards the end of that. Then I got back from that.
Then it was TNA, right?
No, I just did movies. I did DOA. I was gone 100 and something days in China shooting DOA.
Punisher's 2004. Longest Yard is 2005.
And then
but that's
DOA?
when around when so what do they have for
because
TNA there?
That's I believe that's either it can't be the video game in 2005. I think the very first lockdown, the very first lockdown pay-per-view is also 2005. So by 2005, you're in TNA and The Longest Yard.
Yeah, but
Youngest Yard's released in 2005.
You're right. You were working WWE.
Is that DOA above?
Where's DOA? What year was that?
DOA is
above Grandma's Boy.
2006.
There, 2006.
Yeah, so I mean, I just did that.
Yeah, you're
Because at this point, I'm fucking, like, and I'm doing some indies and like, and I'm making money doing the indies.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's like the $7,500 show up and take one bump.
Sweet.
And then the TNA schedule was 2 or 3 TVs a month.
It was five days a month. It was a pay-per-view, 2 TVs, and then 2 TVs.
You can't beat that.
Oh no! And then
So it was
and you could drive there.
Yeah,
In Florida, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
67 miles from my fucking garage to the back gate of Universal.
That is fucking great.
Exactly six beers on the way home.
I was going to say it's Zeppelin. It's Zeppelin 4 and the first 2 tracks of Dark Side.
I mean, fuck. I dropped that fucking top, man. Pull out, get right on fucking. Oh, what a beautiful life.
Man, nice. Yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
Make $500,000, fucking never leave the state.
Man.
Question before we start. Steve and Kevin and Dom, can you clip that discussion we just had about Kev, what do you, and I don't want to, I was like, this is a great segment to do about that buyout year. All right. If you'd like to join us here for the tapings and see the magic of pre-show and editing, you can go to klickthisTV.com and join the 11 Soft Club and be with everyone who's been here all night, it feels like. And also go to the klickthisshop.com and get some gear. Kev, I watched Raw, as you know, because we talked a little bit about a couple of the main events, but there's some other noteworthy things I wanted to get your take on. Femi and Brock.
Raquel with a big win.
Yeah, but now what does that mean for Mania now for her?
I don't know. She beat Io.
Yeah. But Femi and Brock, do you now have to keep them apart until, because it felt like that when Paul came in, but because we had the, he dumped over the top rope, Brock, but now we've done that a little bit.
There's nothing you can do to further that besides recap it.
Okay, good.
Use your strongest fucking thing you have, which is that production.
What's with the booze for Paul? Is it just, is the boss always the heel? Is that just right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because
does Pierce get booed? I'm trying to think. Does everyone in authority get booed in wrestling?
I don't think Pierce gets booed because Pierce is playing a part. Paul is.
Everyone knows now that Paul's
right.
Really I get it. Okay.
Yeah, Paul's the real deal. So the thing is, it's like anything else in life. If somebody comes out and 90% of the people are indifferent to them and 10% don't, like the 10% people that boo,
you hear them.
Yeah, you don't hear nobody's going to stand and clap because Paul came out. Yeah,
as a worker, he always got a pop. So
fuck yeah. I mean, I forget who they were talking to, and it was like somebody that was very. I forget. I'm trying to think of who it was, but they were talking about. It might have been just Mick and I. Mick and I drove from Indianapolis to Lexington on Friday night in a minivan together for 200 miles, which was classic because it's been so long since I've made a road trip with one of the boys. Since Scott's passed, if I do a drive, it's always by myself. So Mick drove, which was kind of cool. And Mick and I used to travel back in like early WCW together when he was Cactus Jack and I was either Vinny Vegas or Oz. And we just, I think he was talking about how good Paul was. Like people he was such a great ring general, and whether he was a face or a heel, how good how great, not good, but how great Paul was. And I think a lot of people forget how brilliant of a career he had. I mean, he was kind of the glue that held that Attitude Era together, because you had Rock and Steve kind of almost battling because when Steve came back, Rock had kind of taken that one spot in the baby faces until Steve got reestablished, and it just seemed like the conduit to that was always Paul. Paul was always with, so.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's my bud, but he was also he was really, and he was, I mean, the reason we put him with us the minute we could get our hands on him was he was good from the get-go. The first time we watched him do his tryout match, we were like, fuck, this guy can go.
Mm-hmm. It was good to hear Mick bring that up too.
Yeah.
So what is the Usos' role here in the company? Now, I think if I were Jey Uso, I'd be a little confused with where I am in the world right now, because they have that new music like now, right? When they're a team, they have the new thing. So that's changing up and kind of taking a new identity after the iconic. I guess you can't do that again and again, but that's out now. And they were not involved later on. They just had their tag match. Just seems like now all of a sudden they're just trying to find a place to fit them.
I think they've been featured. Jey, of course, was featured for the better part of 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, since last January. So I think that by you having that question, by you saying where do they go, I think there's times in the business where that's a good place to be.
When you can kind of go in any direction.
Yeah, when you've kind of got that, like you've gotten to a situation where you're kind of on a blank canvas, and you can kind of determine, because they've had some injuries. I'm sure they would be involved with Vision. Vision got decimated. I mean, there's a lot of, it's just kind of like LA Knight. LA Knight just kind of is in a limbo spot. Like, where exactly does he fit right now?
A utility guy where you need somebody, you put him in.
Then you got Damian and over on SmackDown, and like I don't get a chance to watch SmackDown, so I don't know what they're doing with Drew right now. So,
but Jey kind of proved he can be a marquee name by using him in a utilitarian fashion like this. Is it selling him short that he couldn't still be one of those top 4 or 5 names? on the main
No,
event marquee.
no, I don't think that. I don't think that his time in that position was looked at as a failure.
No, but right. No,
Yeah, he
I'm not saying
definitely-
that. I'm
he-
saying
you know, he-
why are we still using him in that in a top singles capacity?
I think it says more about how highly they think about his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, okay, we're gonna do
But
this.
once Brett was Brett, he never went back with Neidhart.
No, but Neidhart wasn't his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put Brett with Owen, that always worked, even if it was against each other.
Okay. Got it. Well done.
I think that Jey, like, they've done a good job of making Jey the loose cannon, and his you know,
Well, that's clearly the dynamic between the brothers in
right, and he's
the last few weeks.
so.
Well,
They
see where it
definitely.
goes.
I like them because they have they got their own. They got a very cool vibe when they're together. I like and they're brothers, so I mean it just works.
Yep.
Plus,
well, naturally-
plus they're fucking Kishi's kids. I mean, fuck, Kishi's like he's gold, man.
how about Steph coming out?
I loved it.
I thought that was a great open.
I fucking absolutely loved it. She looked great. There's another one that you forget how good they are until they come out there and it's just like, oh, yeah, she's fucking, it's like riding a bike for her.
I'd love to talk to her about her path in this business.
Have you ever watched her?
Give her a call. Can you get her on?
Have you ever watched her on her podcast?
No, I haven't.
You should watch her on her podcast.
Why?
It's I don't know. I think it's very from somebody. If I'm going to watch a female talk about the business, it's going to be Stephanie.
Yeah, sure.
Like that's because that's it's just the from the dynamics of every and most of the people that she has on the show, most the females or the men. I like when she does. I tend more to watch her when she interviews the females. But she was a big part of creative, so she has some really good insight because she knows kind of how like the things the one she did with Cena was really good. Like so, there's just.
Yeah, Steph would be the perfect, of course, if you're going to watch one. Or Moolah. Of course, she's not with us, but Moolah, I would have liked to
I'm
hear
sorry.
talk about the business.
You have to look at the person. So I think I'm going to go with Steph.
Oh, well, I would have just listened to the podcast. There's the difference. No, but I'd love to know from her when she knew she could do this convincingly. Because I remember when she was on. God, Michael Landsberg was the guy in Canada, had that talk show, Off the Record, maybe it was called. And he had sports talent on, but he frequently had wrestlers on. And I remember he did like a week of the McMahon family. I think it was 2 days with Vince, 1 day with Vince and Linda, and then Shane and Stephanie were on. Now, Stephanie was not, I believe, if I recall, she was not on camera yet, or maybe she was just starting to do, the blushing daughter thing. And she presented very differently from the on-camera stuff that we saw. Maybe even a little naive, shy. What I just remember her, and then you look at what she did with playing a McMahon on television. I'd love to know at what point she was like, I can be in front of the camera for this company. If there was a turning point, if there was an angle, if something was pitched to her that resonated, there was some of the silliness when she got married and all that.
I just think when you're in that family, that's the family business.
But did she always think she'd be on camera? I'm sure she knew she'd have a role in the company, but to be on camera in a ring every week, that's a whole different fucking ballgame.
As soon as you get involved in creative and you need somebody to do something and you explain what you want to be done and it doesn't get done the way you want it, and it's not because you didn't explain it, it was because it wasn't performed properly, and you say,
give me that.
Fuck it.
Give me the fork. Give me that fork.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll do it. I know exactly what I want. I'll do me. I'll do me. So.
Very good. You know who can't do them? Our dogs, Kevin. We have to provide for them. So when we see signs of a malady of some kind, maybe allergies, things we don't know are allergies, paw chewing, a lot of signals that our best friends are giving off that we don't necessarily identify as allergic. Of course, like the scratching and stuff is obvious, but like the itchy ears, ear infections even. If you look, you see rashes under the fur. This is not normal, okay? And these are signs of allergies in dogs. What I learned from my friends at Better Wild is that the dog's allergies start in the gut. Okay, and then it shows up everywhere: skin, ears, digestion, even the dog's energy. But just like us, dogs need good bacteria to strengthen their gut health and calm an overactive immune system. And that is why Better Wild has graced us with the Allergy Relief Soft Chew. I give them to Midge. I know Kevin's talked about breaking the gimmick in half for little Cooper. And they're designed to support your pet's allergy defenses by strengthening digestion and helping restore balance from the inside. Okay, the first and only chews with Ancestral Advantage Wolf probiotics from their wild ancestor. Okay, so instead of just covering these things up, you're actually going to be supporting the dog at the source. Okay, Better Wild is committed to helping your dogs with clinically proven, veterinarian-approved solutions that you can feel great about. And right now, Better Wild is offering our listeners up to 40% off your order at betterwild.com/Kliq, Kliq. That's betterwild.com/Kliq, up to 40% off your order. Our dogs love them. Yours will, too. Go to betterwild.com/Kliq. Thank you, Better Wild.
Those are my little guy's treats.
Yeah. And mine, too, when I wander down after taking too many milligrams of a gummy to fall asleep, and then I find myself noshing on the Better Wild. But you know what? Haven't been licking my balls.
Good for you.
Better Wild helping me out there. Kev, how about a little Florida man Jersey guy? Let's return to that.
All right.
What are we doing? I'm reading, Kevin, two actual headlines. One, activities perpetrated by a Florida man, one by a Jersey guy. First headline, drug dealer hit by flying bag of cocaine seconds before the cops swoop in after customer decides to return his purchase. One more time. Drug dealer hit by flying bag of cocaine seconds before cops swoop in after customer decides to return his purchase. And, this is a theme day, man arrested after found with pink cocaine during a traffic stop. Who had the customer return the purchase, and then who had the pink cocaine? If you're playing along, at home.
Well, that could either it's a 50-50. There's nothing that gives that away.
That's why it's the perfect question.
That's horrible. It's just a 50-50. It's the fucking it's the Silverado and the F-150.
Both parked in front of a 7-Eleven, and someone robs the store. Who did it?
Yeah. Who drove? I'm gonna go on. Pink cocaine seems very Florida, where the other guy fucking slinging a bag of coke into somebody's face to return it seems more Jersey. But a bag of coke means it's at least got to be an 8-ball. I don't know if you're going to throw $275 of coke off somebody's face if you haven't got your refund yet. So that could very easily be a very Florida type thing to do. So I'm going to go threw it in his face, Florida, pink cocaine, because it just seems so Florida, New Jersey.
You're absolutely correct.
There we go.
The state you talked yourself into picking the stupider one it's a Daytona story. So let's go down to Daytona, courtesy of the Sun, I guess. Police say a Florida man chucked a baggie of drugs at his dealer when he suddenly decided to return the purchase. Volusia Sheriff's Office was responding to a complaint about drug sales in Daytona Beach when deputies arrived to an alleged sale in progress. Drug dealer Bobby Johnson was hit by a flying bag of cocaine as customer Charlie Damon suddenly decided to return the purchase, the sheriff's office said. Officials released the body cam footage showing them telling the men involved to lie down on the ground. I don't know if there's a location.
I don't fuck around down here, the sheriffs.
It was during the bust, the Volusia Sheriff's Office recovered 831 grams of cocaine, $10,000 in cash and guns. So, a good pinch.
Seems to me like fucking the guy that threw the bag of coke was a fucking CI.
Oh, maybe.
I would
Perhaps.
think that was, that seems like something.
A buy-bust operation there?
Yeah, when I fucking throw this bag of coke back into his face.
That's the signal, right?
You guys come in. Yeah, because how the fuck does that guy get out of that? Hey, you're covered in coke. It's not my coke.
And on the other side of the world here, a New Jersey man arrested on drug charges when he was allegedly found to have a bag of pink cocaine. So I was curious if this was by design or something. This was Mr. Joseph Pabon, by the way, who, when the car was pulled over, was, quote, sweating profusely and appeared to be extremely energetic during the bust.
There's something that it's a little known fact that if you get the proper Peruvian flake and add red dye 5.
The red 5 is what's going to kill you. The Coke is fine.
Coke's fine, but that red dye 5 fucking that'll fuck your shit up. So
apparently, this is a substance known as TUSHY, T-U-S-I, commonly known as 2C, the number 2 in the letter C, or pink cocaine. And that was Mr. Joseph Pabon of Clifton that was pulled over with that. The other passenger, Santiago Cardanovala, did not have the bag on him, but had pink powder under his nose. So I guess that's called probable cause. All right, back with Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. He's Kev, I'm Sean, and we're going to bat for our friends here at Blue Chew. Love the Blue Chew, guys. If your lady or your fella or that person that sends you an eggplant emoji at 2 a.m. is ready for better sex, then you should be too. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Everyone knows what Blue Chew is. We've been talking about Blue Chew on a nearly weekly basis for the last 196 weeks, if you've been counting how long you've been on the journey here with us. Blue Chew's been on a mission to get you bricked up, build your confidence, and help you actually perform better in the bedroom. Their new arousal-boosting formula, this is Blue Chew Gold. This is the game changer. We're on the Blue Chew Gold, helping millions of men have better sex in 2026. While most ED meds only focus on the blood flow, this is where the gold becomes gold by going further and combining 2 ingredients for blood flow and 2 ingredients for mental arousal and connection. You're not just physically ready, you're actually in the mood. This type of innovation is why Blue Chew Gold is the #1 brand in erectile function. All right, so don't let your mind get in the way of a good time. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And as always, we've got a special deal that we've cooked up with our friends at Blue Chew right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you're getting a 3rd month free. 3 months for the price of 2. You can use the promo code NASH. Promo code NASH. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for being on the Kliq This train from day one. Thank you, Blue Chew. Thank you to our 11 soft members who went to KliqThisTV.com and joined us for special access to the show. They're going to ask the questions to Nash here for Ask Nash. Like Ronnie Steele, how was it working with a powerhouse like Scott Norton?
A big boy. I mean, he's so big. He's so big and he's muscular as hell. But he was hard to, you're definitely not going to toss Scott around. But was as a baby face, he was a great heel for me because he could get me in trouble. You duck your clothesline, turn around, and Scott Norton hits you with a clothesline. You're going to sell. You're in trouble.
Yeah. Had that body. Always reminded me like of a Steve Williams, Dr. Death Steve Williams kind of.
Oh, yeah, he looks like a fucking offensive lineman.
Yeah.
A defensive lineman, like it's just a big football like, powerhouse. Scott was a easy 500-pound bench presser. I mean, all day long. One of the strongest guys I've ever known.
Very good. Thank you, Ronnie.
And one of the sweetest guys I've ever known.
That's just always good to hear.
Yeah, what a good fucking guy he is.
Pip the Cook. Did you see that new Dracula movie yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Got to rewatch it. Okay.
Have not seen it.
Well, the monster's coming back. We had the mummy. We had the mummy.
We had Frankenstein
again. Yeah, redoing the Universal monsters. Ace Ramon, was Scott ever in a movie or TV show? I guess you mean
he did
Hall. Right?
I think he did a movie with the Juggalos.
Oh, he was. He was in. He was either Big Money Rustlers, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to do the next one, to make it a trilogy. They already covered the gangster world. They did the Western. Got to cover another genre. Hey, Britt, what's the deal with other wrestlers not attending other wrestlers' funerals? Sergeant Slaughter said he was the only one at Sheik's funeral. Mr. Perfect was upset he was the only one at Rick Rude's. So just that they were on the road all the time?
I mean, I think that, Rude's like, Rick passed and everybody was running fucking full speed downhill.
Yeah.
And it, I know, speaking for myself, I won't go anywhere where there's a body in a box. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking at one of my dead. I'm not looking at one of my friends dead. I've done that enough in my life.
Yeah. Okay. a wrestling historian. Mr. Nash, what are your thoughts on Chris Jericho staying with AEW?
I have an idea what Chris makes with them and how much he works and gets to do his Fozzy and gets to have fun, and I just
Best of all worlds kind of situation,
I just
right?
think Chris can always go back for his last run with WWE. He's he has an incredible ability to get himself dialed in at his age. Like he can go on the road and pound beers and look like Iggy, and then look like himself 20 years ago in 3 weeks. So
Very good. Who else we got here? Ace Ramon, are you a Tom Bosley fan? I loved him as the dad in the cartoon Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. Tom Bosley, of course, the father on Happy Days. I'm sensing indifference.
Yeah,
Not a Paul Walter Hauser, but a good actor.
no, I mean, if you said name 5 actors that you're a fan of, I don't think Tom Bosley's going to make that fucking list.
No, it's clearly Jack Klugman, Jonathan Winters. I know where you're going with this.
No,
All right, send me.
Hackman would definitely be in my top 5.
Gene Hackman. Well deserved. All right, send me one more. Steve, please. Oh, I'm doing the accent. Have you caught the Paul McCartney document? I know we always share
Yes.
movies. We're talking about a movie club. There's the new long one, about 2.5 hours
Wings.
on.
It's mostly
Yes.
on Wings. Yeah.
Very good, right?
Yeah,
Loved
really
it.
good.
Excellent.
It's good because you think I thought I knew, and I was just like, I didn't know that, didn't know that, didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, another one that's good is the Chili Peppers.
I see that's on. I do have to.
Chili
hit
Peppers
that,
is good.
actually. Ace Ramon wrapping us up. Did you hear about the Afro Man trial yet? Yes. Check out his lemon pound cake video. I did see clips. I think you couldn't avoid these clips on social media of Afro Man in court.
I just got that notice of how much time you're on your
Yes.
your phone. And,
Tracking your activity, yes.
And I was like less than, I think I was like an hour and 42 minutes a day.
On your phone total,
Yeah.
not just socials.
Yeah, I just on my
Well, that's
phone.
good. Yeah, stay off the news. Yeah,
I have to. I haven't
better
watched.
off.
I don't watch. Like I said, I watch. Like somebody actually, when I made a comment on it, I said I watch the NBC nightly news, and that's what I watch. And they're like, "No, you got to stay informed." Dude, I don't have to stay informed. I know. All I have to do is. Tomorrow will be a perfect example. Tomorrow I have to fill my car, and I'll know where America is.
When you look at the price,
I'll tell you right now. When
we hit $110 a barrel. Just catch that today.
When Warren Buffett is buying back shares of Berkshire Hathaway, that tells you where our economy is.
I saw a clip of an interview with him today. He said that the big buy hasn't happened yet.
He said
March is going to be nothing compared to.
He said, why would I possibly buy right now and make a 5%? He says, I'm not in this to make 5%.
That's right. Follow
Amen,
the oracle.
man.
Kliq, this is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producers Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, no relation, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2026, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another one about Danhausen?
You know what? I'm really thinking about. We got to get Danhausen on the show.
Well, if anyone can make it happen,
We
it's
got.
us.
I'm gonna. That's. I'll definitely run into him at WrestleMania, and I'm gonna see if I can get Danhausen to come on the show.
So the answer to Kev, do you want to do another one about Danhausen, should be changed to Kev, do you want to do another one with Danhausen?
With Danhausen, and I would have to say yes.
Let us free to fade away into eternity. Circulate, you've come to love me, but now I'm frozen in dead flesh. Oh, Sophie, knew all along it was a trick, but the customer service never answers a thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns, you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never